friends, and welcome to Wives vs. World, where we have fun talking about queer stuff and life as a trans cis lesbian couple. I'm Anya.
I'm Jackie.
And today we want to talk about a question we got.
Ooh, very interesting. So what was the question?
One of our very nice subscribers asked us a question about how to naturally signal to people that you are queer. How to go about that, because they found it kind of hard. And I found this to be a really interesting question because we've never had that problem. And since we didn't, we must be pretty good at signaling. we're naturally queer.
Naturally very queer.
So I thought we could talk about what our experiences with this is. We can talk about what we've done to let people know, and maybe you guys have some additional tips and tricks in the comments for everyone to enjoy. Yeah, so we've always been very openly queer, and we've been in a relationship for as long as I can remember.
More or less.
Since before high school, in my case. So we've had that natural coming out to do a lot of times. And I think my first tip on how to let people know is just to be very open about your queerness. So if you have a partner, just, if it's safe, of course, just say so. Just be like, yeah, my partner and I, blah, blah. And it depends on where you're from and what the culture is, of course. But in English, there is a gender-specific term, right, for boyfriend or girlfriend. And that's an easy way to say it.
Yeah, that's an easy way to say it if you have a partner who uses different pronouns from you.
Yeah.
But say you are bisexual or pansexual and you are in a straight passing relationship. That's not going to fly in the same way, so you might want to try something else. For sure, that has been one of the things that has helped us out a lot of times, because I mean, during university, sometimes people, I don't know why, would assume I was with a man or like I was straight or something, and then just dropping a subtle, oh, well, so I spoke to my kæreste, which, as we've been over, is a gender-neutral expression in Danish, and she, one thing or the other. That sort of...
to make it explicit.
Yeah, that popped that balloon real quick.
Yeah, as I said, we've done this all since high school, and I do remember getting made fun of a little bit, like people saying, or laughing at me, saying, oh, you're lesbian, whatever. But I also remember not really caring, because like, yeah, sure, I am. So there was nothing, like, I didn't face a lot of hate or anything like that.
No.
But yeah. I didn't give a shit what people said about me. So for me, it wasn't hard to stand by who I am. How did you find that as well?
Only that guy in Japan who was really reluctant to accept my coming out. It was like, but why? But other than that, I mean, I think it's much harder, or also for me, to come out as trans, because I fit quite snugly into what people imagine a woman would look like. So I can sort of fly under the radar, and it just...
It comes up less often.
It comes up less often. It saves you from a lot of hassle, and people are not like, so, are you a boy or a girl? Someone like me who passes, it's also very difficult for me to bring that up. And often I'm not quite sure I want to. The being with a woman thing, like any occasion I get, oh, my wife this, my wife that, oh, how are you doing? Oh, I was just talking to my wife. Like, I am up in people's faces. Maybe they think it's annoying, but I don't...
At least people know you're queer.
Exactly. It's very important to me to signal that you are in my life.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, and that's also why we started calling each other wives before we actually got married, because the Danish term is gender neutral, and it was so annoying sometimes when you had used the gender neutral term, and then like you'd known people for weeks and they just assumed it was a man, and then you kind of have to explain it at some point.
No.
Yeah, so it was easier to start using the word wife, which is not gender neutral in Danish.
And not very truthful, because then the next one, oh, when did you get married? Yeah. Well, we're not really married, but we just kind of wanted you to know.
Yeah, and if it's high level, if you don't know the person very much, they don't ask that, so it wasn't...
Exactly, yeah, then you can just like, wife.
Yeah, and the second thing is kind of... oh, I'm just talking.
Yeah, go ahead. You wrote the script.
Shh. And I think the second thing is related to the first, which is to be open about your sexuality. So if you're a part of a conversation and someone is talking about, oh, that hunk over there or whatever. I've been part of these conversations.
So have I. Like, why are you drawing me into this? That's Kevin.
Yeah. He's a man. It's fine. No. But okay, so I'm glad we relate on this. So if you're a part of a group who's talking about their crushes or people they are attracted to or whatever, instead of remaining silent, as was often my tactic, because I'm not gonna comment on Kevin. Yeah. So that's interesting. Okay. It's a possibility to be like, well, I fancy that lady over there. I fancy my wife. No, but maybe if you like some actress or I don't know, it's a possibility. Bring up, say like, oh, I'm not into guys, so I don't know about Kevin. Or whatever.
I don't know.
I've actually never really had a crush on an actress.
No, me neither. It's kudos if you do. Like,
yeah, that's a very whole lesbian thing, right? To have crushes on specific actresses. So basically, stand by who you are. If it's safe, just tell people. Yeah. That's number one. Easy way to let people know. Maneuver
it into conversations where like that's appropriate, I guess. Like,
don't be like, "Hi, I'm a lesbian."
Yeah, like help normalize it. Just be like, "Oh, we're talking about crushes. Now let me tell you about my crush on the mystery person." Mystery person. Yeah,
we're not naming names.
What else can you do? So if
I think you get to talk now, because the next point is about, oh my god, this is not you specific.
Say you're not comfortable discussing relationships or crushes.
Yeah.
Or maybe you are asexual, aromantic, and it's just not a thing that figures in your life, but you still want people to pick up on that queer vibe. How?
Yeah. Yeah, and we talked about the two different possibilities. I'm sure there are more. So one is specifically if you want to let other queer people know you're queer. So the kind of stealthy thing that is flagging.
I've heard different versions of like handkerchiefs and like the small, what's it called, like the kabinhe. There is an image here. I've heard of a lot of different ways to subtly signal to your peers that you are queer, your queer peer.
And we've never really done that. So we don't know much about those specifics. So the other kind of option is to like look queer. Yeah, you go off about your whole.
I go off about my whole. Because like we were also talking about what does it mean to look queer? Can you look queer? Something that I would do, for instance, that I would say, oh, that's pretty queer. If a straight like cis person did that, like, would that still be a queer thing to do? Are we dabbling in stereotypes now? What are we doing? Like, it's a very, very multifaceted thing. And I think it's so steeped in context that it's hard to denote like an activity or a way of expression that is inherently queer.
And you don't want to just dress like a stereotype
no,
or act like a stereotype. That's not it. But of course, there are things that are generally kind of...
And you can use the stereotype as like a blueprint. You can use it in your favor. It doesn't have to be the whole shebang.
No.
But like you can sort of leverage parts of it.
And there are so many different ways to do that. And well, when people learn that we're queer, people are not really usually surprised. Also because I guess we kind of look queer sometimes.
What gave it away?
Because we do fall into one of the many stereotypes about queer people having wacky hair or looking a bit like alternative fashion or something like that. Colorful individuals. And I guess that has worked for us. Yeah, that's one way of doing, like, dress nicely.
Dress nicely.
that will make people know you're queer. No, but there are also like more other ways. Like I've seen many people talk about the rainbow badge or the rainbow pin on the backpack or the jacket or something like that, which is a really, really common way to like signal queerness. And I would assume that would
Yeah, I think that would probably work. Like the question was, how do I sort of do this in order to be out when going to uni? My experience with university is it's usually a more open environment. So like stuff like badges, stuff like more explicit messaging should not really be a problem. It is liberal indoctrination after all. No, that was a joke.
It depends on where you are, of course.
Exactly. And if it's university, or if it's like if you're entering like corporate work life, there will be different rules. But like the thing about it is like look at the type of person that is in that environment, and then just push the envelope a little bit in the direction that you can. Like if you have to wear a suit and a tie, maybe you wear some colorful socks, maybe some like cufflinks or something. Like just push it a bit, you know?
Yeah, of course, and whatever it means to you.
No, exactly. Like, don't just listen to us, but like, take this as inspiration. Like, see what is accepted, and then just go into that gray area where it's like you're doing something different, because different, is a very short step from queer.
That's the whole point, actually.
Yeah.
Just look a little bit different, and people will automatically assume that you're queer. You heard it here first, people.
But you also have plausible deniability.
Yeah. You would be like, what? No. That ain't me.
No.
I just like the rainbow. A lot. Yeah, so that was a lot of words to say. Not very much.
Yeah, be different.
Be different. Be queer. That's our best advice, because that has worked for us through all these 13 years of dating and being queer. And I wanted to just touch on the trans-specific experience, because as you said, you find it much harder to signal that you're trans on your workplace or your education or whatever. And one of the parts of this is that you don't necessarily especially want people to know that. It's not that you don't want them to know that, but you're not like, it's not
I'm not eager for them to...
No, exactly. If it was important to you to let people know, I guess you would use the same tricks.
Sure, I always be like, when I was a boy, or something like, you know.
Yeah, like, because you've also told me about several situations where female peers have talked about menstruation or pregnancy or childbirth, and been like, expected you to be in on the conversation. And I feel like in those cases it would be extremely natural to say, you know what, I don't do that.
Yeah. Not really a thing for me.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't.
Sometimes it depends on the context. If someone is very open about, well, they have like, I don't know, they have heavy cramps or something, then my natural response would just be like, that sounds like it sucks, you know? Not necessarily to go, oh yeah, let me just turn that around and center it on me. I don't, you know? Like, it's not good conversational skills, and it's like a shitty move. Like, I am out to some people at my workplace, but for unrelated reasons. Like, we just started talking, and then it just felt natural to go, oh yeah, we're also doing XYZ and this YouTube thing, and then it just felt like an appropriate thing. But in most other cases, like, I don't necessarily require that people know that I'm trans in order to treat me how I want to be treated, but I do require them to know that I have a wife, because I don't want them to constantly go, oh, you have a husband, or oh, do you like that man, or something. That would be annoying to me. I want people to treat me as a woman, asterisk, who is together with another woman, asterisk. So the trans thing doesn't really figure into that whole thing.
Yeah.
But that's also because, as I mentioned before, I am not visibly trans. Like, so that's not something that I have to deal with. Yeah. Which is like...
Some of us can't help it.
Are you know...
Yeah, and also I don't tell people that you're trans, my friends and stuff, because I don't feel like it's my thing to say. My friends often still know it because of our social presence, because we talk a lot about this online.
It's not a secret. Like, no, if people know, if people stumble on like our Instagram or this channel or whatever, and they want to talk about it, then that's fine.
That's fine. So it all depends also on what you're comfortable with sharing, how much you want people to know about you.
So how do you come out without coming out? Be different.
Yeah, be different.
The rest will follow.
And if you have any great tips for this, let us know in the comments. We would love to know.
Yeah.
We could always stand to be more queer. We hope you liked this video, and if you did, you can subscribe for more.
It's true. You can hit the bell icon if you want to be sure to receive a notification whenever we post new videos. We try to upload every Sunday, but if you just can't get enough of us, you can also find us on Instagram. And with that, we hope to see you next time. Bye!